Fresh.
Well, 14th studio album, Paper Gods, is about to come out. September 11th, you moved the date up because everybody was so excited about it.
Yeah.
We are extremely excited about it. You said that Paper Gods is the best song on the record?
I think I said that.
You said that?
I don't know about the best song, but it's my favorite song on the album.
Why is that?
I love the commitment. I love the way it was written. It was so natural. It's a funny old song, actually. I probably spend more time out of the studio than in at times, and it was one of those songs where I came in on a Wednesday morning, and Nick and Nick wasn't already there. He's never there when I get there, but Ben and Rodgers were there, and John was there. And they said, "Hey, check this out, Charlie. This is something we wrote last night when you went home early." And I thought, I'm not going to like it. Just not going to like it. And they played this piece of music, and I thought, nah. And sort of stomped off and went to the loo. And while I'm standing in the loo, I'm thinking, na 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 na, and it came to me. The melody came to me. By the time I got to the studio, the words "Paper Gods," "Bow to the Paper Gods" had come to me. I said, "Okay, I've got an idea. Let me just try something. Bang something down." And I put it down. And sometimes there are these moments when the magic just starts to happen right there and then. And it happened for me while I was on microphone doing that. And the whole song was the lyric got written in by the end of that afternoon. It was a wonderful moment. And for that reason, that's my favorite song on the album.
So does he have those moments a lot where he doesn't like something at first just because he wasn't there?
I think we all do, actually.
Yes.
None of us
Yeah, we all do.
None of us like anything that was written when we're not there. I don't know what it is. And there's a few of those, actually.
Yeah.
You have to kind of go with it and put your best foot forward.
Well, yeah, because you guys are all stars in your own rights, and you've done things individually, and so when you bring all of that to a band, I suppose, there has to be a lot of give and take. There has to be a lot of, okay, I got to put my ego aside. I guess that is pretty good. It's better than what I came up with.
Well, Simon and I particularly always say that we need a producer.
Yeah.
Really?
In this band, because everybody thinks that they can do it, but I think we believe that we need somebody that comes in and has a vision for the can see the end product, if you like. And we had some great producers on this record. We had Mark Ronson, Ben Hudson, Nile Rodgers came in and co-produced a song. So they really helped us to bring home the album.
Mark was on the previous one, and people say that it was All You Need, and people say that kind of got you guys back into the Duran Duran sound. And now they're saying this one is like the best thing you've put out since Rio, which is saying a lot because there's been a lot of great records out since Rio. Is that true? Would you say that's a true assessment?
I definitely agree with all of that. I mean,
okay.
I think the thing about All You Need Is Now is we had a very clear brief from Mark, and that was, I want to make the record which reclaims the 80s for Duran Duran. He'd heard stuff, the Block Party, the Killers, Franz Ferdinand, a lot of bands which had a sound very, very, which could clearly be traced back to Duran Duran. and he just felt that was our place, and wanted to reclaim that. And you do that once, but you can't go in and make a second album like that. So we had to go somewhere else. But I think we went in at the right time. We'd had a big break since the tour. We had a lot of energy. We had a lot of creative energy. The one thing we said to each other was that we want to make a funky album. We want to make something that people dance to. We want to make something that's fun. Not too serious, not too dark.
Yeah.
But we wanted to be Duran Duran, the party band. And that's the only real kind of brief that we had at all when we went into the studio. And then we let the music do all the rest of it.
You still maintain a little sense of goth on this record, though, right? A little sense of the dark Duran Duran side, or no?
It definitely has a dark side. Yeah. And I don't think that's something we really forced in any way. We didn't say, well, we've got to have 4 tracks that are kind of deeper, 6 tracks
that never
are up.
Works, does it? When you go in there,
it's not going to work. So I think we just kind of let the record take us where it took us. And we you turn up on a dark January afternoon in London, and you're not going to make kind of a very funky sounding record. So on those days, we probably went into the darker side of the band, which I think has always been there.
Interesting.
But the funny thing, I think the darkest song on the album is probably "The Universe Alone," I would say.
And you're going to say that was written on a sunny afternoon, I bet.
No, I'm not going to say that. No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But what I am going to say is that it's got this. It has something quite uplifting about it, though. That with that bass line and that rhythm section, that actually reminds me. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like sort of Earth, Wind and Fire. Mm-hmm. It's got that kind of vibe to it, and for the Darkest Song to have that in it, I think it says a lot.
So you say you're reclaiming the 80s. Was there ever a time, though, when that was not even a thought? Like, okay, I'm running away from the 80s. Maybe the 90s, when you wanted to sort of put that behind you. Like, when did it become a thing that you were okay with as far as reclaiming?
I think fairly recently. I think with the last record, we finally put our hands up and, had acceptance, I think, of our past. As you said, I think we spent a lot of time running away from that and wanting to be a different band and maybe following other people. But Mark Ronson came and said, don't be ashamed to be yourselves. Don't try and be somebody else.
Yeah, why would you want to run away from some? For people like us, we don't understand. Like, why would you want to run away from the greatest times ever for a lot of us?
I agree with you. I think it was an amazing time for music. The 1980s were, and really other art as well. Visual art, fashion. Well, let's not go the fashion route, perhaps. But
maybe the shoulder pads we could do without. But there was a lot of really good fashion.
Well, I mean, we're all guilty of a few dodgy haircuts in this band. But that aside, you're right. It was an amazing time for music, and I think because we were so incredibly successful at that time, and we had hits which were just monoliths in the musical scene. At times it has been a little bit intimidating to look back. You know what I mean? And it almost prevents you from doing what you want to do now. I think we've got to a stage now where we can look it full in the face and not be intimidated by it, and be proud of the band that we were and where we grew up and how we've evolved and developed, and use the energy to create something new. I do think Paper Gods is one of our strongest ever albums.
Wow.
It's got there's a sense of commitment to it, a sense of honesty and passion, which I think all the best Duran Duran work has.